Good morning.
Good morning.
Wait, where is it? Can you hear it?
Barely. It really does kind of cut down on the effect if you can't hear it really well. Just gonna say. Wait, you went away. Okay, you're back. Hi.
I'm back.
Yeah, we could almost hear it. I mean, it was
the noise
hearing
cancellation
adjacent
thing.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
And the problem is you make me keep the noise cancellation on.
Like, I don't make you anything. That is awesome.
Better?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. That is great.
Yay! Because I was feeling like this. Wait, are you ready?
Oh dear God. That is I want to hate it, but I can't because that is kind of awesome. It is kind of awesome.
So good.
Where do you I know where you find stuff. I mean, like, whatever, but where do you find the time to find stuff? Like, I don't understand.
Honestly,
you literally had to go onto a search and find that.
No, I didn't.
What? Okay.
Barnes & Noble.
Oh, they still have those? I didn't know.
Yeah, in the impulse section.
Yeah.
Like tracks. They have the little like tiny things for desks. And
I like how you paused for that too. Like, no, I'm gonna take this one.
Well, awesome. the day I learned that they called the section before checkout impulse, like in every store, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but anyway, good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. I know we haven't introduced ourselves yet, but I've already claimed that Tim is just on one today. I'm Sami Zoss. It's wonderful
Tim Lockie.
To see you all. Tim Lockie here. I just spoke over him. Usually we're better. We have gotten better at the intros.
I don't know that we're better at the intro. I feel like
I have a whole like planned intro for us that's just going to play automatically in the future just to make it easier.
Don't do that. I kind of like a crash landing.
Well, here's the deal. We're going to do a really short one. So it's like similar to the little intro video guy. It's going to be like the countdown, then us. And it's going to be like 5 seconds. And it's going to be...
I love that you're explaining this to everybody.
Hey, I'm Sami. Hey, I'm Tim. We're the Human Stack. We make tech awesome. Obviously, we'll say it better. And then it'll do the little swishy. It'll say like, I think I was...
You cut out right at what we were going to do. That's kind of perfect. That's kind of perfect. Okay, while Sami gets all of everything back up and running, I am Tim Lockie. We are so excited to be back. We've been gone for a couple of weeks between travel and conferences and just lots going on. So it is, you're probably picking up on a lot of excitement because we are finally hanging out together again. And I think for both of us, we've gotten a little bit busy with life. And there's a lot moving these days, especially in the AI world. And so we just don't get to hang out as much as we have in the past. So this show is kind of where we get to kind of be back together and kind of hang out. Okay, if you haven't been here before, AI4AnyoneLIVE is where we talk through AI for the social impact space primarily. Sami Zoss does a lot of work around AI, works in a lot of different areas. I know she works with the Human Stack doing digital transformation. She also just has a lot of fractional COO work. So that's the lens that she brings. I've been a CEO of a tech consulting company, and now I'm the CEO of an AI transformation company for small to mid-sized nonprofits to use AI. So every week we hop in here and we take apart one element of AI. This month we are in the second week, but we are moving towards we are marching towards Claude. There's a massive... Oh, you're back. There you go. No,
okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's hilarious, and I don't think it's going to show for you guys, but there was a moment in there where I showed that I was on. And so I'm making faces. I'm like, hello, Tim Lockie. Can you see me? Can you hear me? And you all missed it, so I had to recreate it for you here. I don't know what's wrong, so I'm going to have to up my internet, which is going to annoy me.
Okay, all right. Here's what happened.
To be completely honest.
Here's what happened while you were out. I told everybody about who we are and that we are marching towards Claude. So we're going to dive in to Claude. If you haven't, so a lot of people actually don't know what Claude is. So we're going to just start from the beginning. And so,
can I say something that
oh yeah,
I don't realize more people who aren't in the AI space don't catch? I said this at a fundraising event the other day, and people were like, that was the first time someone broke this down for me. So if I could just pull us way back for a second.
yeah, please do.
Most people know ChatGPT. That's the one that you hear about AI and you think ChatGPT now. Couple different things. What we talk about on the show for the most part is generative AI. It's not we've had AI for a long time. When I left my house 3 years ago, Apple would pop up and say, "Are you headed to work?" That is AI, right? That has been existing for a long time. What's new for us is this generative language learning model where it speaks to us in our language and we can ask it and query it in a way that makes sense to us in a conversation versus zeros and ones and mathematics, right? I haven't been home for a bit actually. I'm pulling a Tim here, gotta get my glasses on and
Oh
read.
my gosh, pulling a Tim.
But with generative AI or learning language models, there's sort of a few big companies or players on part of the game. We're only going to talk about 4 mostly ever on this, the 4 main ones. There are others, and I want to make that clear. We just don't typically talk about them.
Wait, what's
First,
the 4th one? Oh, you're going to go.
You just wait. First, OpenAI owns ChatGPT. Okay? ChatGPT, OpenAI. Anthropic is the company that owns Claude. So Claude is to Anthropic as ChatGPT is to OpenAI. It's the little, I don't remember what they're called, but I can see the dots that my professor or that they told me to do, right? Where it's OpenAI, ... ChatGPT, ... Anthropic, ... Claude. Anyway, someone will tell me what those are called. Then there is Google, which has Gemini. We've talked about that a lot on this show. That's actually kind of where we got this start, right? And another shout out, because as we're leaning more into themed months and approaches, we're kind of going away from let's just show you cool things that Gemini can do. I'm working on a pitch for Tim. He doesn't even know this, to figure out ways to mini bring this back. So there are little quips and tips and tricks around here that are just if you're using Gemini, here's a cool thing we found.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Lastly, the 4th company that Tim rightfully forgot, and I'm gonna get some flack for saying it like that, Microsoft and Copilot. We often advocate for utilizing if you are just now diving into AI, generative AI at your organization, whether you're in leadership, whether you are on the ground floor, anything in between, first step would be, and Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but our approach, our stance would be your first step should be use the AI that's already in your infrastructure.
Yep.
It already follows all of your security protocols. It is under the umbrella of use in your organization, and they have control over it. So they're aware of what's happening. So you're not breaking rules there. If it's open, it's there for you. And that's why we focus so much on Gemini, because it is 75%. Google for nonprofits is 75% off. And with it comes that SOC 2 security, which is what you need for a business and bank, not being a bank, but explain SOC 2 security so I don't absolutely F this up.
I mean, I can.
Because it's not HIPAA. HIPAA's high.
Right, exactly. I think this is the thing. The organization's number one rule about AI. I love that you started here and you schooled me for forgetting Copilot, and you're exactly right. Yes,
it's easy to forget Copilot, unfortunately.
Use the AI that you're already paying for as a base tool. That is the start there, and the reason for that is exactly what Sami's getting at, which is there's already built-in enterprise-grade security related to that, security and privacy. And so it is if you're already using Google or Microsoft, then when you are using Copilot and Gemini, you're incurring no new risk, right? You've already put your files in there. If you're putting a file in there, is just using the AI for them is just as safe. So That's the base rule. Great job for catching that.
Simile.
It is exactly the right place to start.
Those were similes. That's what it was. I'm gonna make us a little human stack simile graphic. I think that's a good one for us to post out there.
Megan has not even looked at Copilot. That is fine. Until a couple of weeks ago, I hadn't, and it was only because I was doing some coaching for Project Evident that I got into it, because I don't really have a Copilot account that I could play on. And I'm going to say there's a lot of stuff I don't like about Copilot, like just frankly, but they have the only good evaluation and testing agent system I've ever seen. It is really good, really, really good.
Well, April's Agentic April, so maybe we will.
Yeah, that is actually a little bit. Yeah, that's absolutely.
Maybe you could talk to Project Evident and see if they'll let you demo some on their infrastructure a little bit.
Right. Yeah,
that'd be cool. All right, back to Claude. I just wanted to give everyone that level set because I didn't realize we take for granted that we know that. I think you hear Anthropic and Claude and yada yada and understanding all of that.
Yep. All right, we're going to start right here. If you do not have Claude yet, for nonprofits, it is a very low price. Like,
this is I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. So Claude has team accounts for $5. Minimum number of seats that you can get in Claude is 5. That means that if you have more than one user using Claude, it pays off to go teams, and you get 5 seats for that. So that's a starting point right there. Go grab it. They've got they'll do a little confirm to make sure that you're a social impact or a nonprofit. But that's how you get it. That's where you start. Claude is like ChatGPT, but I think it's a little bit smarter. If we're talking about those 4, maybe the thing I'd say next is that base models, the base tool that you're going to use would be Gemini and Copilot. But then there is
if you're just using everyday queries, Gemini and Copilot are fine.
Yeah, and their tool set is really good. I just want to say, like, compared to
built an entire year's worth of lives on Gemini, Gemini.
Totally. So ChatGPT and Claude are kind of specialty tools. So the way to think about this organizationally is everybody's using Claude and Copilot, or Gemini and Copilot, and then people are using for different purposes for their roles are using ChatGPT or Claude. Claude is by far my favorite.
My default.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't tell you this, but I have built an app in the background, and I am putting every single chat I've made with Claude for the last year, and all the messages are ingested into it, and I can pull on it, so I can see how my chats have evolved over the last year, and it has been really interesting.
Well, did you know Claude also has the way to pull over your ChatGPT conversations for memory?
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah, I do. So, and there's Dan Kershaw. Dan, so good to see you here.
We've had a few newbies join. We've had a few joiners today. So we've got Bill Ha and Josh from YouTube. So shout out. Nice to see you guys.
Great.
And then Megan and Dan from LinkedIn are regulars. Tasha's a semi-regular. It's so nice to see you. I don't know if I missed anybody just yet, but it's always fun. Like, we took a couple weeks off, so you never quite know. So it is nice to see you guys, and it's so nice to see everybody joining us for the first time. So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Claude for nonprofits, you built this app that like pulled in. I would love for us to do our own little, like, maybe it's just a separate little like 10-minute video that's not live, but just like, what has your evolution been? Because one thing about you and I, Tim, is one of the reasons that we have different reasons that we were sort of like ready to be leaders in this space. But one of the reasons I would argue that we are leaders in this space is simply because we jumped on it the minute it came.
Yeah, right.
But that means we can see our evolution in real time because we've been with it since it started.
First of all, Megan's pointing out something really interesting, which is that it is really easy for especially Americans to forget how rollouts happen for everybody else in the world. And then there are blocks. And so Ethiopia doesn't have access to Claude.
That's crazy.
When I was in Poland doing a training there, I went to use Opal, and right, it didn't, like, that wasn't working.
Which Opal is a Google tool.
Yep, right. So yeah, it's just a good thing to mention and to keep in mind about that. So, okay, yeah, you could. So the thing that I did where I downloaded all of my chats, that was not just like, that is a function, I think, on every tool where you can download your chats, right? And when you download them, they end up in a JSON file, and from that JSON file, you can import them. JSON is just like it's like a format.
JavaScript object notation.
I didn't know what that stood for, actually, so that's great. It's just a way. It's just an organized way of holding information, kind of like HTML, but
yeah. Or like if people see Markdown, where you see like hashtags or pound symbols, you know, you'll see like that's like a Markdown file. So it's just a way to format the text in a way that like the machine reads better and clearer, basically.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I thought that maybe I would just start by showing people what Claude looks like.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, this is Claude. This is what it looks like. I feel like the visual aesthetic of Claude is just really nice. So I kind of like that. And just like the other tools that you've used, you can type in questions and it will answer those questions. It will do like all the usual AI things that you can do with AI. So let's start with, this always happens. I can never remember what I'm trying to say. I don't know why
this isn't working right now.
Yeah,
I would also say, Tim, and you're not as good at this because you don't do it. What Tim's showing you right now is actually the app interface that you can download on your computer.
No, this is is this is
this the web?
Yeah, this is on Chrome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought because I couldn't see the bar. Fine. Never mind.
Yeah, okay.
Because our goal, you guys, there are apps and things, while you write that out, Tim, there are apps and things that Tim and I use every day. Like we pay a significant subscription to Anthropic, both individually, that I don't, oh gosh, I can only imagine what this is going to be. But what's really important is that AI for Anyone Live is meant to be the accessible version of like you can pick this up and try it today version of what we're doing, right? I love that when we're trying to use Claude, it's going to be down.
I know. It's like, no, I can't do that. Okay. So here's a couple of things I would do. First of all, I'm going to turn off extended thinking. And what I did here, if you're following along, you want to follow along, there are 3 different models and there's extended thinking. I'm going to turn off extended thinking. And then, I don't know, it took me a really long time.
Haiku what is extended thinking? Like, what would you, how would you describe that?
Yeah. Okay. Great question. This is where you want to pull in reasoning, or if you've got a lot of math, or if you're trying to break down a layered concept that has a lot of moving parts or a high degree of context. So I don't know if you've had the experience where you're talking with AI and it just kind of suddenly gets confused, or you just can't handle the conversation
all the time.
Right, exactly. So just like us, think of it as Claude is one model that has 3 kinds of focuses or awarenesses, right? Like all of us do. And then, Haiku is like parent mode, where you're kind of ignoring your kids because you've already heard about the thing they're talking about for a lot of times. And so
that's a great description.
Oh yeah, but you know what I mean? Like works with spouses, but I didn't want to go there. So
I never use Haiku. For those that are wondering, I don't think I've ever used it.
Yeah, Haiku.
I started using others.
What do you leave yours in? Are you in mostly Sonnet?
Opus, because I refuse to let go of the narcissism that everything I'm doing is capable and ambitious.
Okay, cool, great. Haiku is like quick tasks. Sonnet is, I think, the best writer. So if I want good writing, I use Sonnet, which makes sense because it's like a sonnet. And then Opus is definitely...
Haiku is a poem, whatever.
Opus is a very good reasoning model. And so this is, if I'm having it do really intense work, then I'll do Opus with extended thinking. Anyway, so
the reason you swap between these, and the reason why I say I use Opus, is because see earlier comment about how I am on a very high subscription. I'm on a very high subscription for Claude. And
Yeah.
so I'm not as worried about running out of usage. There are usage limits in Claude per session, per week. Is it per month as well?
Are you in max plan?
I'm in max plan, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like so the reason you use Haiku is because you want to see, does it need more or does it not, right? Before you start using something that's going to take more of your usage opportunities. Can you just show everyone how you find if Claude's up or down really quick? Since
I don't know that. Is
down.
it trust.claude.ai?
Did you say you don't know that?
Yeah, I never go there.
Oh, really? So what he's probably typing in the chat or in the bar, because we aren't able to see it, Tim.
Yeah.
Is the
Oh,
Claude,
right. Yeah.
is Claude down or something like that, right?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yep. Look at that. Affecting login, log out, current investigation.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, we love that.
So
that's
many
crazy
people,
that you've never used that.
So many people are moving over to Claude that it is definitely having issues. I would say that. And
for what it's worth, up until last week, Claude was the only generative AI model allowed in government, like highly secure systems. And I'm sure some of you've heard about the chaos there. We could probably do a whole episode on breaking that down. Actually, there is Dan Kershaw recommended the marketing. It's like the AI marketers or something like that. I'll find the right link. Or Dan, if you want to put the link to that podcast in the chat, they're the ones that I think really explained well in one of their podcasts, like, here is what this means and what we're looking at right now. Because there's talk of supply chain risk. And now I guess there's agreements with OpenAI and Grok, which is like a whole other thing. So there's a lot going on there that we don't need to get into. But to give you an idea of like how useful and secure Claude is, like it was the only one allowed. It still is technically the only one in use in federal systems right now.
Yeah.
I need you to read this in your best pirate voice, please.
I cannot do this in my best pirate. I don't have a good pirate voice. What?
Why did you choose pirate then? You got everybody excited.
Oh, Sami Zoss, that's scallywag bold. That's all you're getting. One line.
No,
that is it. The whole thing.
Commit to
heartful
the
mischief and nerve uncontrolled. Oh,
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. You know what?
She sailed to the seas of engagement and thought with a cutlass of questions and wisdom she'd sought. Anyway, there you go. My point on all of this was very simple, which is here is Claude. You can see it. This voice mode actually finally works. That is huge. This has been something that that OpenAI has owned is their voice mode, and it's not as good as it's really the Claude version of voice is not as good as ChatGPT's. For those of you that do most of your work with a phone and that's your surface, voice becomes really important, right? Just a really, really easy way to input. So, all right. I was going to ask you, what is your, like, if you had like the one thing you could not give up about what Claude does that you like a lot, they're going to strip every other feature out except this one thing. What would you keep?
Okay, I'm going to think on that because I actually don't know the answer. Well, you tell everybody about the Responsive Nonprofit Summit.
Oh, cool. Great. Yes. Everybody, today I am doing I'm on a webinar. It is a paid webinar. So the thing that I'm doing is a paid workshop. Sorry, not a webinar, a 2-hour workshop on how I use AI practically. It is specifically for fundraiser. I am introducing new content that I have not done before. And I'm sharing stage with Scott Holthouse from Virtuous. And I got to say, this is really cool about Virtuous. They're not asking me to do any kind of integration or plug for Virtuous. They wanted me to come and teach fundraisers how to use AI practically for segmentation and for writing appeals and those kinds of things. So if that is your world, I am doing that today, I think at 2:30 Central, Eastern, sometime this afternoon, and would love to see you there. Be aware it is for that one thing that we're doing, that is a 2 hour commit, and it's $100. Would love to have you there. So yeah, I'm. This is 3 weeks in a row. I've been doing different events, and it has been really, really fun. I'm so glad to have 2 hours to just spread out and talk through some of these deeper concepts. So I'm excited about
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna have to talk about that before we hop into Upskillerator. I've got some questions. I'm excited for that though, Tim. Yeah. Hey, we need to fix this QR code.
Rest. Oh, okay, great. We'll fix that in the background.
I apologize, guys. It's my fault for what it's worth.
The rest of the conference, though, is absolutely free, and our own Dan Kershaw is going to be presenting tomorrow, and he's presenting on some work that we've done together. What he learned is, I love what he's doing. There's a conversation about AI tools, and he's going to give that a very human stack spin. You don't want to miss it. I have seen the content; it's really good, and I like I like what we're doing because it's work that I introduced for Furniture Bank that has really shaped a lot of the conversations that we're having there. So don't miss that. That's tomorrow. Dan, if you want to throw in what time that's happening tomorrow in the chat, we'd love to see that. So
yeah, I'm gonna fix the link. It's the AI Club link. I mistook what we had for.
That's fine. Yeah.
So that's my bad. Here, let me. I hit save. It should be updated now. We'll move back into our core content, but I'll leave this up on the screen for a little bit. The summit, I didn't hear the beginning part of this, Tim, but just so everybody knows, the summit itself is free for nonprofits. So Tim's session is a paid session, but the summit in totality is an absolutely free summit. And so definitely take advantage of that. I know I've sent a lot of my nonprofit friends there to sign up and be part of it. And we love what Virtuous does and the work that they're doing there, right? So this is going to be a great summit in totality. If you can't afford Tim's session, let us know. If there's enough people that reach out, maybe we'll figure out how to do something another day, or work with Virtuous to provide another version of it. Would probably be the better move there. So just let us know if you can't attend, if you can't make it, and we'll figure out how to make sure that we work with Virtuous to get you that content. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to leave that up for one more second, but I'm going to say if there is interest on that, I know exactly where we're going to host that. And it is on AI Club, which we are launching soon.
Yes.
And stay tuned because I love that thing. It's so great. We're launching this soon. And what AI Club is, you can see on this landing page here that there is no details on it, because we're still figuring that out.
It literally looks like this, you guys.
I thought that we would buy some time.
Can we reduce this font, Tim? My God.
No, that is awesome. That is perfect. It is completely filling the phone. I would not change a thing on that. I love it. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing. I thought that I'd buy us a couple months by saying we're going to launch this when we have 200 people signed up on the wait list. We now have 300. And I'm not ready. So anyway,
I plugged it a lot last week. I was so excited.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people are really interested in AI Club. So AI Club is coming out soon. Stay tuned for more about that. But launching sometime.
I'll hold him to it, guys. We'll get it soon.
It'll probably be April or May. Don't know yet, but you're going to be excited to find out what's happening with that. Stay tuned. All right.
He's like, you'll find out when I find out.
I do know slightly more than that, makes it sound like, but there's a lot of truth in what you're saying there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you asked me before we talked about the summit and AI Club a little bit. You asked me if Claude stripped down every other feature, what's the one that I just use all the time? I'm going to pop the QR codes up just to leave them up there because I know there's been a few people scanning them. Okay, I'll put the summit up for a little bit and then I'll pop the AI Club one back up as well for folks. So we're not going to talk about it, but I do want folks to be able to have.
Marco, hey, it's great to see you. And thanks for putting that up. Microsoft and Anthropic partnering in Microsoft Copilot. That is the first I've heard of that. So cheers to Marco for bringing that news. Yeah, that is great to hear. And Dan Kershaw said something that probably passed us by a little bit. And I want to go back to it.
Do you guys see that he just talks over me all the time? Outrageous.
I'm sure they see. I'm sure they see.
I'm sure they see.
I'm sure they do. I also just gotta say that's a two-way street. So
Never. I would never.
I like how you just.
I would never interrupt you, but
Your volume
apparently
went out right when you went never.
Restream goes, she's interrupting again. Take her out.
I know. I love it. I paid him extra for that.
Okay, what did Dan Kershaw say?
Dan Kershaw pointed out that the nonprofit pricing includes max, which might not seem like a big deal, but it is. That reduces what Sami and I pay $200 a month for to
individually, mind you.
Yes. That
like
reduces
Tim and I
it down
collectively
to
pay $400.
I know.
You pay $50 a month for 5 people total too?
No. 5 people is the team account, and then you can upgrade individuals.
Okay.
And the upgrade for individuals is $50. So it covers that. I think I'm saying that correct. Dan, you can correct me if I've got the details wrong.
Maybe we'll put that on our list of like little mini, you can do a reel on it or something, because I think that's huge. That's really important to call out.
And I want to start at the kind of the business end of Anthropic of Claude, because ChatGPT was an alluring kind of evolution for me, I'm sure for most people, where it was like, oh my gosh, this technology is doing stuff I've never seen before. No expectations, just blew us all out of the water. For a full year, that's where I lived. And when I started working with Claude, it was a much more intentional, okay, but what can I do? Yeah. And what I've seen is this has been a much more curated experience for me, because I've been intentional. I've got ChatGPT. I know the stuff it can do. Like Claude needs to outperform that, because my curiosity is only going to take it so far, right?
Yep.
Well,
and ChatGPT had, before any of the competitors had down really well, was memory. And that's why it was so hard to move from OpenAI's ChatGPT to anything else permanently for any reason. Because I think it was last year, I did an exercise where I showed folks what mine did, and I had other folks do it, where I just asked ChatGPT 2 words. I said, roast me. And it was hilarious and poignant and accurate. I mean, it said I go through productivity tools like Tinder. It's hilarious, right? Like, that's so good. I want to put that about that. That
was the best line. It is so true.
It gets more and more accurate every day too.
I know,
it's
right?
insane.
Yeah, exactly. Swiping left, but I think it's tools.
Super important to note that like there were features that OpenAI really did lead the way in, and had it not been for those, these other tools wouldn't have. Like, the problem is the give and take though. Like, Claude's always been known as the better writer universally. I always lean towards Gemini for image generation, and Dan Kershaw's the only one I've found, and Ken Unger are the only people I've found who can make decent videos out of any AI. I hate trying to figure out video generation. I'm so bad at it, and I just I want to use it. But I think where Claude has really done well is they consistently talk about their ethical frameworks and their moral grounds, which, to be fair, there's a very interesting debate going on about that right now, and where a corporation can and shouldn't draw a line when it comes to governments, right? That being said, I've always known where they stand. I've always known, like, they were a defect group of OpenAI because they didn't like the lack of, or the loosened version of, the ethical frameworks that they thought a generative AI should have like this. And so Claude really was born out of that, and they've stuck to it, to their credit.
Yes,
and that's also how we were able to jump into it. Go ahead. There are things, I know what you're going to say. Go for it. You're right.
Yeah, there's some really shitty things that they have done. Like they wrote a constitution on, here is the ethical framework. And then just out of the blue last year on a Thursday, they just broke it completely, and retroactively signed everybody up to include in their training models, which is like, that made me incensed. And I think it goes back to an expectation we should all have, which is that these are businesses. They are here and they exist to create revenue. And that revenue is their bottom line. That is what they pursue. So don't make the mistake of thinking that any of these models are here simply for the greater good. They are too big to be either good or bad. They are like electricity. They are like the internet. They are like money, right? These are massive structures inside of our society that are metastructures that are just too big to be either good or bad. So they're both. We do
That's
this.
a really good point.
We do that. I think this is true for you, Sami. I know that they're going to weaponize this. They're out there like right now, and the big debate is around how they weaponize it. I want to help as many for good uses as I can, which is why I'm so dedicated to AI in the nonprofit space. So,
I mean, yeah, it's why Tim and I just do this partially for what it is worth. It is partially because we have a really good time. Like we enjoy hopping on once a week.
Right, yeah, right.
And
Totally.
talking to you all about it. I did want to pop up. We are real QR code heavy today, but there's just a lot of resources, and we've been gone for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I popped up the Fundraising AI website, specifically going to their framework. Tim and I both serve on the International Advisory Council for Fundraising AI, which is a consortium of experts and nonprofit professionals across the world working on a framework, consistently working on and improving a framework for responsible beneficial use of AI in fundraising and nonprofits. If nonprofits are wondering where to start, this is a decent one to start at, right? Like, check it out, see what it means. People who are asking for policies and things like that, the Human Stack has policy, a policy template for you. Fundraising AI also has some policy templates. They've got some resources, a lot of resources we've co-built with them from the Human Stack, right? I think it's really important for folks to understand, and I'm so glad you pointed that out, Tim, because I get on my high horse about Claude sometimes, and Anthropic being the ethical choice. I think if I'm looking at the four ahead of me, I do understand that I lean towards Anthropic's approach, but I'm quick to rose-colored glasses it with things like, hey, we're just going to retroactively. And so what Tim said, for those of you that maybe aren't as understanding of the training model language, when people are worried about like AI getting your stuff or training on your stuff, what that means is it's a learning language. It's a language learning model. It learns based on what's out in the World Wide Web, amongst many other things, but it's continually iterating and updating based on conversations it's having. You as a user have the right to say, I don't want to train this, or I do want to train this. How that looks in practice is if Tim were to workshop his policy in ChatGPT with training on, that now means that it is one of many other data points that when someone else comes to ChatGPT and says, I want a policy on AI, Tim's work is now being used to formulate that output. If Tim turns that off, that doesn't mean that OpenAI doesn't have access to your stuff. They just can't train on it. And that is true for all of these models. And to be honest, I say it like that because I don't come from a technical background, and it took me a while to understand the difference between, it doesn't mean they don't have my stuff. It just means that a future so if you have proprietary policies that aren't going to change your world if OpenAI has access to them, but they will be important to not train on them. That's a good example of, like, policy work is one of my best examples, because I don't, especially for-profit companies, utilizing AI to workshop policies is not a bad idea. But make sure that you understand your security. If it's full IP, you shouldn't be putting it anywhere without express permission from your organization. But then two, if it's just a matter of, I don't want other paper companies being trained on, so they have the same policies as me, turn off your training data and you can still use it as a great brainstorming tool. But what Claude did was they retroactively just turned it on for everybody. And they didn't pretend they didn't, but they didn't exactly like, hey.
They didn't announce it. It was a shitty thing to do. Like that.
Yes.
It's a company, and companies do shitty things. Like that was one of the shitty things it did. One of the unshitty things that it does, by the way, I'm going to share my screen and show you this.
Also, for what it's worth, you never let me answer the question of,
what is it? Sorry, please.
No, you share your screen while I do that. I was going to say it's the connectors, which I think we'll get into next week. But it was my learning of what MCP means and how powerful it can be with generative AI, with learning language models specifically. What it did for me and what I can't go back from is the ability to query my own stuff in some way, shape, or form. And we've shown that on Google Gemini a little bit with, like, look at my email and add these things to my calendar, etc. But what Claude does really well is you can have multiple MCPs. And Tim, you and John David, your son, have done great work in like not only educating me, but like I think you guys have been very innovative in your use of MCP and skills, which if I were to hazard a guess, skills is one of, if not your top used tools for Claude.
Yeah, I would say
which we will get into next week or the week after, because we do not have time to approach either of those topics.
No, that's fine. I would say Claude Code is probably the thing I couldn't.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Okay, so what I want to show you is, first of all, this is a AI fluency for nonprofit course.
Yes,
it is free. It is great, and this is my friend Kelsey on here. I had no idea. I saw this yesterday and immediately texted. I was like, "What?" So in the pink sweater or red sweater, I don't know what color that is. That's Kelsey Kramer from Giving Tuesday. So Giving Tuesday is really doing a great job of working with Anthropic as well. So our friends over at Giving Tuesday really excited about this, and I have put out courses, and I will say, start with the free ones always. So this is a great course. I have looked through the content. I haven't taken it, but I have looked through the content. I feel like this is really helpful. Claude has its own language for things that are not parallel. There's not parity between them because they are simply more robust tools. And so if you called them similar things to Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, it would actually be misleading on what they do. Not everything's that way, but there are a couple of things there. So
absolutely.
Over the next few weeks,
put the QR code, Tim. Sorry, I put the QR code for the website that you're on it's up in the left corner of your screen.
Awesome.
We're QR code heavy today, but I want people to be able to find these. So
yeah, absolutely.
I wanted everyone to know that that's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Megan, I'm so glad. Thank you for saying that you learn here. That makes us feel really happy because that's why we do it. People,
and if you guys want a masterclass in applying AI, sorry, Tim. For what it's worth, we did in my delay. We started talking at the same time. I do interrupt you, and I'm going to deny it when I do that.
Yeah,
but Megan is like a masterclass in running a small shop, very nimble, very efficient, and with a learning and innovation mindset. Megan joins us in Human Stack a few different ways, like in our Upskillators. She's here almost every week with us, like just hyping us up in the chat, if nothing else, which really makes my day. But I love that. One, I don't love this, but one, Megan always underestimates herself and her skill in AI and how she applies it on the nonprofit space. But two, she just gives such a good example of how an executive director, if they lean into the creativity, innovation of their world and their community, how powerful of an impact they can make and how they can continue to improve on that, right? So she just made a post about like she's working with Dana and the monthly giving group and some of that stuff and what they were able to do there. But she's still willing to also say like, I've watched you guys for months, been friends for months and years, and I just had to look up MCP. Like things like that, I just really appreciate about Megan and her willingness to just be so open and honest with us.
100%. Also, that is how you advance in AI.
Yes.
That right there is how you make tracks in AI.
Clinical curiosity.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Gotta have it.
Okay, so I think
apologize.
that we should, for the next few weeks, or we should cover what we're going to be talking about in March. We're calling it Marching into Claude, because so many people are leaving ChatGPT for Claude right now. And I just want to start by saying it is not an either or. I use both. I use all the tools all the time and have different contexts loaded and different assets loaded into each. And so it is not an either or. Claude is going to feel, if you haven't used it before, check me on this, but my guess is you're going to feel like it is a little bit more human and it's a different level of smart. It's a different type of smart, right? And this is what I notice over and over. I used to say that Claude is the professor and that it runs out of tokens and is like office hours is closed, which is why I like
you said it was like grandpa or something where it's like, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, for 6 hours. You can't talk to me. And
That's
so,
what we mean when we talk about usage limits, by the way.
yes.
But hell, if you're a nonprofit, get on that max plan. My
Do
God.
absolutely get on the max plan as soon, like,
What?
Run, don't walk. That is an amazing deal. Also, they just rolled out this week voice loops and one other thing. I can't remember what that is, but all of the models right now have gotten to a place in their work with agents and with delegation to AI that you can schedule things in a way that wasn't possible 2 months ago even. So scheduling is the cutting edge right now.
Yeah.
And you can see it in all the models right now. They are adding how to schedule actions to get done. This is I've got to be honest, I'm so bad at delegation. I don't know how to take advantage of this. So I think, Sami, that is a strength of yours. I am anxious to learn over the next few months, both here and elsewhere in the work that we do, how you are going to use scheduling to just get these little annoying tasks in life done. So I think that's your sweet spot.
Do you see this comment?
No.
Megan, I also want to say when I looked up the MCP in the dictionary, it says short for male chauvinistic pig. That is, in fact, just what I call Tim all the time. Tim is, in fact, an MCP. That's the only clip I'm going to take from this.
Oh, that is the best. Megan, thank you for sharing that. Like, absolutely incredible.
Oh, my gosh.
You also, for the record, have never called me that. So I just want to also say that in my defense. So there we go.
Yeah, but I'm still going to clip that from this session.
I think that is fine.
We are going to talk about connectors and skills. Connectors were actually kind of what I had referenced in my I need this part of Claude. Skills are something that I have to confess Tim is the strongest in. I also think, Tim, this may be one of the few episodes where we do need to do a little more in advance. It is hard for me to understand skills. I think your challenge will be explaining it in a way that is not too technical. Because I still struggle to understand them, how to use them, how they aren't just something I forget about, kind of. Do you know what I mean? Like some of that stuff. So I think it'll be fun to see how we have to prep a little bit more for next week. And then we sort of have an open last week on purpose. We just call it show and tell, where we can put everything together. We may touch into Claude Code a little bit, but that is, I will say, we would make that the end of the 4th episode of the month, or the last episode of the month, where it's more of an extra or an add-on, because it's not really at that expectation we have for the AI for anyone level, but it is really powerful. So for those of you that are like on that teetering side, I do think if we have time, Tim, we should show folks what it looks like to work in Claude Code, because it is really, really powerful. And even playing in it can teach you a lot about how to use Claude.
I like that idea. I'm going to edit one part of it. I think we will demo that, but what we want to show you is co-work. Co-work is, I think, just a very good model. There's a middle ground. And Sami, I think you're going to be excited about skills on something that you might not know about, which is when they first came out, they really required back-end work. Now they are easy to build and use. And so we are going to, I think I can commit to just saying, we're going to build one on the show and use it and show what it can do. So stay tuned for that.
All right, so half of next week's episode, it's going to be me showing connectors and Tim showing skills.
Yes.
Crazy.
It's going to be fun.
You guys, that's a lot of commitment. We never plan this.
We never commit to anything on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Except
I'm excited though. Yeah. It'll be really good. And I think for those of you that are, if you're going to be following along, things like, if you have Claude already, I highly suggest downloading the desktop app, because some of what we're doing is a little more doable in there. Definitely check out this Claude for Nonprofits. They're fluid. That is the subscription one. And again, remember the max plan, which Tim and I individually each pay $200 a month for, is $50 a month for nonprofits. That's insane.
I'm going to roll through all of the QR codes here. So just like, there you go.
Which, for what it's worth, we do want to keep giving you guys resources. Let us know if the QR codes get too heavy, right? Like, we don't want this to feel like a rolling ad either, But I don't feel like we've done that, Tim. I just want to make it clear that because we've got a lot of joiners today that we maybe haven't seen before, or at least they haven't commented before, that like the goal of this is resource share and yes, like promoting what we're up to, but it is all about that inevitable goal of what you'd mentioned at the beginning of the episode, which is how to make sure AI is, or nonprofits are ready for AI in the most powerful manner. So I do want to roll through these, and I want to see. At first I was like, oh, we could tag team them, but no, we can't. It's not organized.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it. AI Club, we're going to roll this out in the next few months. Stay tuned. Get ready to join. We'd love to see you there. Today and tomorrow, Responsive Nonprofit Summit by Virtuous. I'm speaking today. Dan is speaking tomorrow. Free conference. My session is behind a $100 paywall for a 2-hour workshop. Please feel free to join that. Would love to see you there. Also, Dan's stuff tomorrow is really great. I've had a preview of it, and I think that you're going to love that. So there we go. Sami, it is so great to be back on the show.
All of them?
I didn't realize. No, but those are the 3 that I feel like.
Those are the main ones. You're right. Yeah,
exactly. It's great to be back.
It's so fun.
I was telling people at the beginning when your mic wasn't working that this is where you and I get to hang out now.
Seriously.
We've gotten so busy, so it's just great to see you.
Yeah. It is so great to see you. It's great to see everyone. Thank you guys so much for being lively in the chat. As you can tell, like we watch it. Yeah, the reason mine was going down is because I was doing what you were doing, Tim, where I've got LinkedIn also up so I can comment. Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out my internet, but we watch that as we talk, you guys, because if there's something that comes up from you all, like we're doing this for you. So if it's more interesting to go down your path, like that's why we do it. And I will say, just thank you. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim's team. Like, thank you to the Human Stack crew for Tim and I are great at a lot of things. Consistency is not one of them. And one thing that Tim, I'll be so for real. Have you ever like stopped working out for a long time and then just been like terrified to do any version of exercise again?
Absolutely.
That was a little bit how I felt today of like, should we just call it? Is this just done now? 2 weeks. And I know that's not true, right? Like I shouldn't say that on live, but Tim's going to yell at me later for it, and that's fine. Because he yells at me all the time. MCP, chauvinistic pig.
I do not yell at you.
So
oh my gosh, that is not true. And I think
that is not true.
I think it's.
I wouldn't hang out if Tim yelled at me, to be completely honest.
Your feelings are data, right? There we go.
But I do think there's something to be said for the consistency of this community. And it really is like seeing the chat light up and stuff. Like, I'm like, oh, this is why we do it. You and I light up seeing each other. Yeah. I light up seeing everyone like interact. And I remember the cool things we learn from each other. We get to teach everyone else in this. So I don't say that to say that like, oh yeah, I was terrified of today or anything. It's just like, I had that like, oh my gosh, it's just like getting it going again and yada, yada. Like I didn't get the event out until an hour ago, which is not what will happen in the future. But it's just stuff like that where I'm like,
it will.
Oh, is it just too much? Blah, blah, blah. And like, I want to thank you and your like, and the Human Stack team, our team, and everyone in the comments.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great to see you and really excited. You're going to catch us here every week.
Every week.
Unless we're not here. But then we'll be back the next week.
Oh, yeah. Those were the first ones that we like just miss.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. All right. So next week, we'll see you. Sami, always a pleasure. Bye, everybody.
Bye.